Unconventional.
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 Unconventional. Unconventional.
Unconventional.
Unconventional.
Unconventional.
Unconventional. Unconventional podcast where we talk about how classroom learnings translate into real-world success right here at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City.
Welcome everyone to today's first episode of the podcast. My name is Randy. I'm the president for the Investment Club at FIT, and I am an advertising, marketing, communications major here.
Hi guys, I'm Nick. I'm the founder of the Boxing Club, the social media manager of Student Life, and your chief of staff for student government. Today is our first episode. We are starting off with a very high profile, amazing guest, the one, the only, Jordan Pappas.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming. So today is our first real official episode, and our very first guest, we're excited that it's Jordan. He approves if this even makes it on the air, so we hope we really give him a good impression.
So, tell us a bit about yourself. We all know you from our clubs. You're the one who saw our events and stuff like this. So you're gonna do this. So thank you for that. But just tell us about yourself. Go background about you, where you're from, school, and just why you're here.
Yeah, so I grew up in Stony Brook, Long Island, which is about an hour and a half east of here. And I grew up majority of my life competing in sports like tennis, soccer. But I found a really big passion in dance and performing. I've always been like a really big entertainer, which is kind of how I fell into this job, because event planning is entertaining people and bringing people together, right? So I moved from the stage essentially to the campus, and when I became, for my undergraduate, I was 18 and I went up to SUNY New Paltz. I've always been a SUNY kid. I love opportunity for students that might not be able to naturally afford college or university. So I think the SUNY system is just something I take a lot of pride in. And after being a psychology major for 4 years, I then completed my master's in public administration, working in higher education, and ultimately I ended up here at FIT 2 years ago.
Wow. 2 years? I actually thought it was longer. We're just going to ask you how long have you been here?
Yeah, my 2 year mark is actually December 1st, so we are getting to my celebration period.
Well, now you have to throw a party. So you started during like the end of...
Exactly, yeah. So something I've been learning a lot in my position is each semester, less and less COVID restrictions or more and more COVID restrictions were being lifted. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like learning I came in at a weird time and everything has just been adjusting. But I think this is the first semester that everything seems to be back to the old norm.
And how's your experience been working with Student Life so far?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, my last position, I was working as a resident director at Marist College, and it was very student-oriented as well, and I loved it. The parts that I loved were the student engagement, event planning, hosting these events, watching you all develop as like professionals. Mm-hmm. The parts I didn't necessarily love was more so of just like event crisis management. So, and that's something that's so difficult, and a big shout out to our friends across the street that do that in residence life. So having the transition to student life, I get to highlight everything that I love about my old job and just really fixate on it and on you all.
Wow, absolutely, yeah. So the first time we met, it was at the semi-formal from the SAB 2 springs ago, and I remember Kevin's the co-founder of the Boxing Club. We were running up on you like, hey Jordan, we know you work with clubs. We want to start a boxing club. And we had just missed a deadline, I think, by like just under a week. And we were so let down. We were like, what do we do now? Do we even try it again? And like the idea just went away. We just like honestly gave up. And then the trailer for Creed 3 came out. And we were like, the hype for boxing was back. And so we found you again. We made the club application. But seeing how we started off as really like, we want to start this club and see where we are today with, Liquid Death, with Equinox, with Bumble. What transition have you seen from running clubs? I know there's so many clubs on campus. We grew at such a very fast, rapid pace.
Right. I think one of the greatest things that you did was the PR component, which I believe is your major and what you're studying here. Mm-hmm. So boxing club, a lot of clubs, they wait for training to understand what they can and cannot do. But I think you kind of had a bit of an insight that you were working in student life, or at least you spent a lot of time there. You had friends in clubs and organizations. Mm-hmm. And instead of taking one of the many suggested routes of advertising for your club, you took every suggestion. And then you even went a little bit harder. So during orientation, you had little handbills scattered all over the place. Mm-hmm. You're posting in the dining hall, word of mouth, Instagram was up ready to go. Do you guys have a TikTok as well?
Not yet, but we're working on that tonight.
Exactly, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked to know you didn't have that just
Yeah.
because you've done everything that I haven't even thought of yet. So to see the amount of loyalty you have with your students is commendable because a lot of clubs, it takes them some time naturally to grow and to get their footing.
Yeah.
And you guys did a naturally very good job with that.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
The first thing that really made me want to, or feel confident starting this was working with student life. I saw the team, I saw like every club gets equal treatment, and it's really up to the club to market it. Yes, I have an AMC major, I have a creative technology major, so I combined these and just really went for it. We expected like 10, 20 people, and we have 450 signups as of last week. So, I mean, our numbers are crazy, but of course there's other clubs and stuff. Of course, the investment club with Randy. We just had an event, you had an event last week, 2 weeks ago, Wolf of Wall Street, the movie premiere. You got interrupted with the fire drill. And you've never seen Wolf of Wall Street.
I haven't, no. And you know, sometimes when my clubs host these events, I'm like, this isn't a speaker I've heard of before. This isn't a movie I know. So I'll usually try and jump into those when I'm not spending my hours. Because what you all might not realize is today, for example, I didn't come in at 10 a.m. I came in later so I could be here with you all. So unfortunately, I have to use this time. If it's a movie, I usually have to be in my office, like still keeping up with work. But if I do have the free time, especially for performances, because like I said, I'm a big performer, I'm going to be right there in the front row seat cheering you all on. Or for the boxing club event you have coming on, gloves on, the lights off.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's on November 15th, a Wednesday, 5 p.m. Absolutely check that out. A question I have for you, you talked about going to New Paltz, that's another studio school.
Yeah.
Coming to FIT, you're not a student, but you get to see all these creative minds. I know it's such a different college campus. We're in the middle of Midtown. We don't have like frats or stuff like that. What is the biggest difference to you that you think from these students?
Oh, the passion, the creativity and passion. Yes. What I could say, shout out to New Paltz, absolutely love it there. But what I could say is a lot of universities, your first year of college, a lot of kids and students come in undecided, not knowing what they want to do. And I'm guilty. By the time I graduated, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew what skills I had, I knew my strengths, but I wasn't sure exactly what my footing was. At this school, as the students are filling out their applications and they are 17 to come to this school, on day one, they know what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And of course, that's not everyone, and of course, there's no shame in changing what you end up doing. But that's just something, the perspective that these students have, the creativity, and the uniqueness is what you don't see at other schools that FIT has, and that's why you're a prestigious group of students.
Absolutely. The drive is amazing. The creativity is amazing. One more question relating to this. If you could choose one major from FIT, what would it be for you?
Oh, wow.
I know we have a lot. I don't even think I know all of them.
I would need to review a list, but I think the first one that comes to mind is fashion, business, management.
Really? Our biggest major.
Yeah, wow. Business really relates to every job I've ever had, including this one. You have to have contracts, you have to be extremely organized, great communication. And fashion, although I am far from the most passionate person on this campus, it's just really awesome seeing those two things come together. It kind of completes that Elle Woods fantasy of her bringing fashion and law and business together, and it's very fascinating.
Absolutely, yeah. I know. It's like walking through the breezeway feels like a fashion show.
Exactly.
It's like 3 minutes, but like when you come here, sure, if you look good, if you look not good today, you have like a little fashion show. So it's so cool. Like the first day of class, we had like, what are students wearing at FIT this week? And I've never seen it blow up like I did this semester. Like it was on like Secret NYC was all over the place. Even like influencers on campus are getting more views than like FIT brand and stuff like that. So like an individual FIT student can do so much for like the entire overall brand, because as students for FIT, we're all like student ambassadors of the brand. So we really have to showcase that. And of course, like networking, I really met Randy at orientation. Like we knew of each other. I knew we had investment club, but during orientation we got so close because working with other students and working as OLs doing like icebreakers. So that was like the first initial experience. And we actually had this idea right in that corner.
Wow.
I think like after the second day of training, we're like, you know what? We should do a podcast. And we just like, we envisioned it and we hopped straight on it.
That's awesome.
And I love that you were the first guest.
And that's what FIT students do. They have a plan. They not only go through with it, but they go. Trying to think of the proper term.
Go 100%.
100%.
They're also okay with failure. You understand that failure is not the end. Failure, sure, it's not the beginning, but it's a step in the process.
Exactly.
We all make mistakes. Things happen. Things fall through. But if you just have a vision, if you just want success, try different things. Keep trying over and over. And then talking about collaborations. If I'm a marketing student,
Yeah.
working with like a fashion designer or somebody who has more creativity, you can do like better things because I have skills that somebody else might not have.
Exactly.
Or they have skills that I might not have.
Right.
So it's really just about collaboration. It's about networking. I always tell people, don't come to FIT just for class. You're always a student first, but come here, join a club, join a student government, be involved. We're such a good community. We have like 8,000 students, but we're so creative. And our campus is the city.
Right.
So we can explore, like walking around the block, we have Chalk FIT, which is students, I forget the major, but they have like this chalk mural on the edge of 27th Street, 28th Street, going down 8th Avenue. And their final project is on the wall of FIT. So not only do students see that, professors, faculty members, even passerbyers, because we're in the middle of Midtown. Yes,
That's
exactly.
how people see, because no one is walking down 27th Street because there's nothing on the street other than near the campus. So when people are walking up and down that avenue, that's the first thing people see. I remember my first semester, there was a Pikachu with a mask on. And to me, that just stood out so much because we're taking something, a struggle that we're all going through, a pandemic, and making it into art and making it into something that our community can connect with. And I always look forward to see what's going to be the next set of visuals that are up there.
We'll see next week. That's also a form of marketing. You see, oh wow, look at these unconventional creative minds.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Right.
I want to see what FIT has to offer, whether it's marketing, whether it's FBM, fashion business management, or even fashion design, because we're known for fashion design. But FIT is so much more than that. Like people think, oh, you must. Anytime I say it from FIT, like, oh, you design your clothes, I'm like, it's just essential. This is not my brand. I'm a marketing student, but I also, work with fashion designers or other projects. So it's really just about networking. Like, if there's one takeaway, if you're not an FIT student, even if you are an FIT student, network. The person next to you could have an internship for a brand that's your dream. The person next to you can own their own company. So just network, meet people, make friends. This is the place to be.
And people here want to help too, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I've complained to students that like my shirt's too big and I need it taken in a little bit. And they're like, oh cool, I do that. I'm like, oh wow. So like they can help you out there.
No, yeah, you think like, oh, that's a crazy process.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's nothing. It's like you always see the memes like, oh, I fixed the Wi-Fi for my mother. And she thinks I'm doing like some crazy construction. I'm just pressing the off switch and putting it back on. So we don't know their process that's in their head.
And I'm the mother in this situation because you all blow me away. I go to the students, hey, I love your shirt. It's nice. Like, thank you. I made it last semester for my class.
Yes.
And that's where it's like, you see these people do it on RuPaul's Drag Race, making these outfits, like sewing it within a day. Our students have that talent level that you see on national television. And it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have any questions for either of us, Jordan?
I mean, I would love to know when you obviously aren't studying boxing. How did you end up getting into?
That's a good question. I get asked a lot because personally, I'm not a boxer. So I used to work downstairs in the athletic center, in the fitness center, and people would come up to me like, hey, I see punching bags in the gym. Can I use them? And I was told, no, they can't use them.
Yeah.
So I had like maybe 2 dozen students come up to me and I saw a market. And it kind of just like went to the back of my head. But then I started working with student life. I was like, you know what? It's so easy to make a club. You just need 10 people, you need a professor, and that's really it. So I took those 2 things in the back of my mind. I was like, you know what? There's a market for this. I'm a marketing student. I'm creative. Let's do this. And it blew up. This is only our 2nd semester. We have an event this Sunday at Equinox. I can't believe I get to actually say that. It's 2 blocks away. They just opened their new location. So it's amazing. It is. Oh my God, it's so sweet. But it's amazing to see that, yes, it's just a college club, but it can grow into something more than that. Sure, I can put it on my LinkedIn, on my resume, but that's a talking point.
Right.
To say I can do this at a college on campus would blow me away if I heard that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely that's the little story behind the boxing club. Started downstairs in the fitness center and then grew to this. We have so much more to do. I can't even imagine the events that's going to take place next semester. More engagement, and it's at this point I don't know what else marketing wise I can do, but I'm sure I'm going to figure something out.
Exactly. You got to keep it fresh. You got to always come up with new initiatives.
There's always different updates.
You know what? This is a great marketing because right now everyone in our office affiliates Liquid Death with boxing. So whenever you see someone walking around with a can in their hand and it's very easy to spot, the font is so big and bold and the colors stand out, they complement each other. That's a good way for me to remember, oh, boxing club, what do they got coming up now?
I've never thought about that. I thought this the other way. Like they see the boxing club, they think Liquid Death. They see Liquid Death, and oh my God, the boxing club. I love that. I love that. That's the marketing mindset that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, there we go.
I love it. Awesome.
So, for me, for example, so I've been here for a while. My first semester was in 2019. Amazing semester, love it. And then next semester, COVID hit. Right, everything got shut down. You know, I was so sad. I was like, damn, what am I gonna do with my spare time?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was really getting into investing. I was like, you know what, like how can I make money while I'm sitting at home, just bored out of my life? And that's when I started saying, okay, you know, what can I do? Trading, can I invest? You know, at the time, AMC, a bunch of these, you know, big little bubbles were coming up, and people were making tons of money on Reddit, on social media, stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I need to learn this because I know it can definitely benefit me, and if I show other people, it can benefit them as well. So I started my whole journey learning how to invest, learning how to trade, just learning how to make money online in general. Because I feel like that's what it was shifting towards during that time, you know, how to make an extra $200 online in school while you're still, you know, doing a bunch of things. And so that was my main focus with it. And then when school came back online, I was like, you know what, I'll actually do something with that knowledge. And luckily enough, I actually found a club. I didn't found the investment club. It was already started by someone else. And I joined the Equinox. You know, I joined on as a treasurer. And then I soon came to be the president for it. And ever since then, you know, we've been trying to host events. We had a little partnership with Bank of America. They came in, did 2 seminars. We even got to go to the Bank of America Tower. And they hosted us there.
I love that. I love when the clubs go to Equinox, go to Bank of America. We even have clubs and organizations go off to California. Style Shop, they did last year. About 10 of them ended up going there to explore some of the big brands and businesses that they have out there. So when we see you taking this off campus as well, that's the extra step of dedication and networking that's just going to really fuel you all for post-graduation as well.
Oh, absolutely, So our goal is just always help students get educated on finances, just because we know school doesn't really focus on finances that much, but that's what we're trying to bridge the gap, you know, and also just, you know, helping students start a business. Our next big event is going to be a starting your own business seminar. So we're going to have someone come in teaching you exactly how to start your business, how to settle the LLC, how to do all these different things, because outside of this, it's probably going to cost you a few $1,000s for someone to teach you all of this and for you to run it up. And you never know if you're going to mess up paperwork, stuff like that. So, you know, having this, I feel like it's going to benefit a lot of students. So December 5th, be there.
Be there. That's another thing. Student life, you know, we get a budget with the club, and boxing sessions are like $300 a month. I can't afford that. I don't think most people can afford that. So we can offer like even basic training on campus, and then get professional trainers from outside, like Equinox, that we're trying to do, what we're doing for the Bumble event, is beautiful because that's so much money and you get to learn these skills. And it's not just boxing; it's overall fitness. You know, it's a HIIT workout. We're trying to get this healthy lifestyle because yes, it's about mental health, but it's also physical health. You know, we do cardio, we do boxing, so it's really just incorporating everything. And our slogan or our tagline right now is "Come punch things." And it started as a joke, but so many people loved it because it's so simple. It's 3 words. So like I have like stress from midterms, come punch things. It's like whatever you're stressed about, come punch things. You know, we never fight each other. There's no sparring on our campus. We're literally just teaching you. You're punching a bag. Randy was there our first ever session. We had I think like 70, 75 people come.
I had to be like, besides, you know, because you have the mat there. Everyone had to step off the mat because there's so many people. It's overflowing.
So now we have to cap that at like 50 people per session because we just went through
It's a great issue to have.
Yeah, I'd rather too many members than not enough. I remember like going to the gym like 20 minutes early. There was like 2 people online. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, this is the first session. And I went back outside. It went all the way down to the elevators. I'm like, for our first session, and like we built this community. Of course, there's a team behind the box club. It's not just me, and we really built this community. It feels so like liberating that we get to see them evolve as boxers. Like we have dedicated members coming from last semester. Every single semester, you know, they started not knowing really anything. Now they have their own boxing gloves. They have their own wraps. They're going to like off-campus sessions.
Wow.
It's like a really big part of their life.
Yeah. Do you see the same kind of students showing up to every week? Like, what percentage would you say are the dedicated ones that come every week versus maybe the faces that come every now and then?
There's a good like solid 35 members that we see like every single week. Wow. And it surprised me because like that first week we're doing cardio. We're like, you know what? People might not make the cut, but they might not want to come back. But like to do boxing, you need cardio, you need all this stuff. And we only have like an hour session. So we can only do so much in an hour, but we try to make the most of it. We do stations, we have punching bags, we have all this stuff, we have gloves for you. So it's really just getting feedback from members and then seeing what we can incorporate, what we can change. So it's really just reading the book.
That's great. Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Also, I don't know. I had one question for you. You know, coming to FIT, what was your mission from the start for student life? You know, what did you want to? You know, because we just started off getting off of COVID. You know, and you were, I guess, kind of thrown into this. You know, what was your mission for the students back then? And then what's your mission going to be for the next 2 years or however long?
Yeah. So my mission is I really wanted to develop leaders. I mean, when you come to college, your classes are going to develop you educationally, and your peers are going to develop you socially. But working with clubs, I get to develop you all professionally. I get to develop you like socially as well, and we get to build these relationships. I get to celebrate your victories, but I also get to say, this is what we need to work on by giving you the constructive criticism. And I think I'm the perfect person to do it because I am going to work beside you. And the zone of proximity is a really big term I got from my undergraduate. And what that is basically is supporting you all as much as I can without doing the work for you. That way, you're able to learn in the process and then fix your mistakes for next time, or fix the things you couldn't do the first time and continue from there. So that my goal was to really come to this school, build relationships for 4 years at a time as you all cycle in and cycle out. I get so excited when I come back in the fall and I see your faces again. And I get so sad during graduation when I'm watching you walk across the stage, I'll be doing that with you this year. I'll be doing that with you in a year or two. But ultimately, that's how I know I succeeded, when those bonds are there and I see you all going off and killing the game, and then coming back as alumni. I already have people coming back as alumni for events, and it's just so great to hear the stories and see them share their wisdom with everyone else. So that was my goal for the first 2 years. And for the next 2 years, I just want to do better. I want to do everything that I'm doing, but maybe learn more names, right? Because we have 70 clubs and organizations. I know faces, I know all the presidents' names, but I could do better. I could know the vice presidents. I could know maybe the general members that are committed, but ultimately can't be on the e-boards. I want to get to know your routines a little bit better, maybe without having to hear from you on how, let's get this annual event started again. Maybe I could come to you with ideas and say, hey, let's get this started, and here's something we could do differently that we didn't do last year. So something that we're actually going to start doing is having evaluation forms. That's been a big key component missing. You're probably realizing right now. After your event, they'll say, how did it go? You'll say, oh, it went great. It was a success, cool, and we're done. And we're already running to the next event. What we're going to do starting next semester is after each event, we're going to have a quick 1 to 2 minute evaluation form where you're going to say, this is what we did well, and this is what we want to do differently next time. And that'll help you develop a little bit further as leaders.
That's amazing. That's a great answer. Honestly, I love student life. Without them, I would not feel comfortable. So start the box the way we continue. Like the support you give us is the support you give every single club. I don't know how you have the energy. Like it's it must be caffeine. I don't know what it is.
I don't drink any coffee. Fun fact. Zero
that's
coffee.
insane.
I tried coffee like a few years ago. My heart was starting sweating. My body and caffeine. Not with these though. These are good. It's a good level of caffeine, but a cup of coffee just drives me overboard. But the energy you all give me fuels me, and I'd love to give a shout out quickly to Kevin from Boxing Club.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
I do a presentation during orientation where I get to talk about student life and really get the students, like you were saying, instead of just having them go on their traditional path 4 years here. I'm like, come to student life. This is what we have to offer. This is what we're all excited about. I remember during the first presentation, Kevin was in there in the audience. He was smiling. I see his big smile all the way from the stage. And he just fueled me during that presentation to then fuel the 400 people in the audience. And people were stopping me after that presentation being like, I want to come to student life because you convinced me.
Wow.
And ultimately, I gave them that energy because I saw Kevin in the audience being all jittery. And I saw Lonnie and I see Kira and I just see all of you just so excited to be there as OL. So it's just a cycle of you give me my FIT students, fuel me, and I fuel them back.
Absolutely. It's like this endless cycle of just nonstop energy, nonstop passion, nonstop creativity.
There's not a day of the week or a month or any time of year where that dies. Maybe during the summer when you're not here. The campus is just so empty. And you feel it. You feel the lack of energy, not just the bodies. You feel the lack of creativity on campus. That first week you're all back and you put on your best outfits. It comes back hard.
The fashion show, absolutely.
You know, I feel like, do you have anything else do you want to say?
No, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we'll definitely wrap it up, but I feel like we can't end this episode off without an outfit check. You know?
An outfit check?
We gotta do an outfit check. You know?
All right.
We have to.
All right.
So,
do you want to start it off?
I'll start off. All right. So we're just gonna say what we're wearing. And that's it. We're not gonna go into how much everything costs because I know, it's crazy.
This is what we call an OOTD.
Yes.
OOTD for the day. So, all right, shirt is from Comme des Garçons, pants are from Zara, and then Golden Goose for the shoes, and then just a regular Amazon watch. That's what's on me today.
I have the Essentials Fear of God sweatshirt on. These pants are also from Zara. And I have my little brown and black Jordans on with this necklace. I get so many compliments on from Metallic.
Nice. I would have dressed differently if I knew this was a segment. But that's good. You want to catch people off guard.
Yeah, right.
Shirt, American Eagle from many, many years ago. Jeans from Banana Republic. You know, they're expensive, but it's worth it. And their outlet stores, check them out.
Oh my gosh.
And shoes, probably just from Marshalls or something. They're my go-tos. Black goes with everything, right?
It does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the all black aesthetic.
Right now, you're doing all black too. White and dark blue.
Yeah, we gotta style Jordan one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the students one day said, Jordan, you're wearing your green pants. Those are your signature pants. You wear them all the time. I have now limited myself to how often I wear those pants because that was one of the biggest tips. I'm like, I didn't realize people look down when they're talking to me, so I try to change it up.
I've had comments like that. Like I used to just wear like all Nike, all like the same color. But like coming in for the past 2 years, your fashion sense changes drastically.
And you're excited to go to the store and purchase that shirt that maybe you naturally wouldn't, but now you're like, I want to show off. I want to expand my closet, right?
Because you can be, this is FIT, you can be as creative as you want.
You can wear whatever you want. I have a pair of women's pants that I rock all the time. There's these like, they're 10 with these stripes that come up. They, you know, I have to wear them a little bit differently so they fit, but I ultimately would not have ever felt comfortable and excited to wear them. And the students here embrace it, so I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited for a Halloween in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna dress up. You gonna dress up?
Hopefully.
You gotta dress up. You gotta dress up too.
Yeah.
Even if it's like something simple.
No, for sure.
But yeah, absolutely, Jordan. I really want to thank you for everything, Student Life, the Boxing Club, I'm sure Randy, the Investment Club, and for being our first guest and improving this. We really came to Jordan like out of the blue, like, hey, you want to start a podcast? And no questions asked. He was like, let's do it. Show us the layout. Randy drew a little picture of the layout, just like in a crayon or something. It looks so funny, but it gets the point across. We have this small team right now. We're trying to expand it, but I really want to thank you, Jordan. This is the first episode. Many more to come. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys soon.
Why do you think that?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You always have like 14 different issues.
Pictures are not edited. Those are actual raindrops.
Wow.
Okay, do a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to today's first episode of the podcast.
You say your name first, bro.
Okay. Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.